Hello people, this is a Rob's weight loss video. As you can see, it's the 23rd of the 8th today. I've got a whole history of it on here with each 5 weeks as a video by itself. I'm doing this month ain't been too bad. I will show you how I've done now. So yeah, I've done 228 pound. That brings me down to 16 stone 4 pound with a weight loss of just 4 pound this 5 weeks. You could say that's poor, but there's a few things that I will show you that I think is offset this weight loss. The first thing I'd say is around I think it was the 3rd of the 8th or something like that, I started to think that could I do 10,000 steps a day. I done a few days and then I took a bit of a rest for it for a couple of days, and I thought to myself, well, hold on, I'd done 3 days in a row and I felt fine doing 10,000 each day. So I think it was from like the 9th that I've been doing 10,000 steps for the past 2 weeks every day. I'll double check on the dates actually, because that don't sound right to me. I'm pretty sure it's earlier. Obviously I'm using an app called Pacer on my mobile, and it's tracking all my steps, how many I'm doing each day, and it's also got the actual dates of when I first started it. So if we go back to the first one, sorry, no, it's August the 3rd actually. Yeah, so I was right. I was exactly right. Yeah. The big difference is, I was wrong in the sense that I actually started. I'd done the 3 days of 10,000 steps on the actual 28th of July. So I was wrong in the sense that I had actually done it the week before. So really, the whole month really of August, you could say, really. So like from the 28th, for the first few days I done 14,000, 16,000 and 17,000. Then I had a break for 3 days, and I was thinking over that distance that I done for those 3 days. So from the 28th to the 30th, I was thinking, well, hold on a minute, I've done them pretty easy, and that's quite high. That total amount is a really high number. It's way over 10,000 steps. So I actually started on August the 3rd, and since then I've been doing 10,000 steps a day, which works out on average about 2 hours walk in one go. And I've gone a bit brain freeze now. But yeah, it's about 2 hours walk, and between 4 to 5 miles, depending on how far away you go, and then you want to walk back. It can vary, but my aim is to stay on 10,000 or just a little bit over, not much over. So the reason I'm telling you this is because I think this actually has a complete knock-on. So you imagine doing 10,000 steps every day for over 3 weeks, you're going to gain more muscle. And what I done on the 13th of the 8th, which I'm going to show you now, is I actually measured my waist and my upper thighs of my legs, because I've noticed my legs muscle has got slightly bigger. So I thought, well, if I measure them now, so I will show you the tape measure of what I've done. So the top one in yellow was 13th of the 8th. I'll try and zoom in a bit more if I can, because I don't know if you better see these properly from that distance. So as you can see on here, my waist was 44, my left leg thigh was 21, and my right leg thigh was 22. Obviously now I've just done the same thing, and I've noticed that a few inches more on my legs. So that would just be pure muscle mass on my legs. so that could take a few pound off my total weight loss easy. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? Well, not really, because it's a good thing, because what it means is the more muscle you've got, the more energy that muscle uses. So therefore, it will burn up more calories. So the more muscle you've got, the better in a way. Obviously, I do a lot of other stuff. I take some vitamins, so every morning I take my cod liver oil. I take a vitamin B capsule that you dropped into a pint of water and it fizzes up into an orange drink. I'd fully recommend them. And for my own personal health, I take one called Milk Thirst. That's mainly, there's been a lot of research that says it is a very good thing for the liver, so that's why I've been taking them. I started taking those three combinations way back in March time, so it would be like my third or second 5-week plan kind of thing. And I've been taking them ever since, every morning with my with my cereal, whatever I have. Like I said, I have a high fibre cereal every morning. So yeah, I'm more than happy with that £4. Like I said, what I've done with loads of other videos, I will do the same here if I can remember it. It's been a while since I've done it, so obviously the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that down to here, because it's exactly the same. So if I paste that, yep, that worked quite easy. As I've done before, I'm going to delete that one, and then what I'm going to do, let's get the date sorted out first. So that's the 23rd of the 8th, so in this one I'm going to be putting 24/08/2017. So now that one's done, but obviously I'm just going to go, I'm going to highlight it, I'm going to go into the corner and wait until I see the add sign. You want to see the add sign. So now the next step would be to go up to the date again, put the 31/08/2017 again. Click away from it and click on back onto it again and get the add sign to come back up, and then it'll automatically adjust to the following month. So then we'll do the same here, so that would be 07/09/2017, and then I'll click away from it, click back onto it, get the add sign, scroll it all the way down, and we've got the same here. Obviously all these I've just put on as a example, so I'll delete them. Same on this one, so I'll put 14/09/2017. Yeah, like I said, this takes a bit of time, but you know, at the end of the day, if you watch all my videos, you will see how to do this yourself. It might seem difficult when you're first looking at it, but once you get into doing it, and you just got to be true to yourself at the end of the day, you know. Like I said, it does take a bit of time. If you've never used Microsoft Excel before, you probably will find it a bit of a challenge. But you know, once you get used to it, and once you've set the you know, the actual formulas and all that, is easy. It's not difficult at all. So what I'll do here is I'll just do this, highlight that, format that one, and I just come down here, and then it just changed it all for me. It saves it. I could do it the other way and just do it that way and just do a standard black symbol. There we go, all that's done for me. But by doing it like this way, what I do, see, is you copy everything over, which is just easier. I'll do the same with this one, so I'll format that one, go all the way down on this one. Same there, see. Well, what I can do, you know, people who knows Microsoft Excel better than me will probably be able to do far better, quicker ways of doing all these things. But you know, this is working for me. Yeah, I've lost a massive £58 since February. That is 4 stone 1 pound, I do believe. That's a massive amount of weight to lose. So yeah, I'm quite happy with it. As you just seen, we've done all that. So now if I were to put 600 in here, it should change colour. Same with that one. If I put 600 in there, it should change colour. Oh no, see, sometimes if you move them, you lose that colour, so all you do is just format it and put it back in there. If I put that in, it should change to green. If I go 0, that should be red to say, look, you've got to eat something per day. You can't expect your body to change that quick. If I go say 250, it should be like a browny colour, or it's still grey there. If I go on say 150, that should be more of a, that's it, there we go, see. The next thing I do, which is very important to me, is keeping me in track with the previous month. So what we do here is, as you can see what I've done here, I put the formula to add some things up for me. So what this is doing is, this is saying, right, I73, which is this combination here, is taking away from the previous month. So it would be taken away from it'd be taken away from, yeah, I just clicked on it now, so it's changed the combination. So when if you look up here, up where the bar is, when you click on them, it said I72. Confusing it gets. So yeah, I'm doing it right. I just clicked on the wrong one there. The blue is basically a different formula, because what the blue does is it adds up the 7-day week. So yeah, that's why it says sum, because it adds up the whole column for my 7 weeks. Then what I do in the black one is I'm taking away what I did the previous month. So I'm just going on to the blue one. As you can see here, I731 is what I did this month, and then it's taken away from what I did last month. So what I would do now is, obviously this is 10 weeks worth. I'd go down to my latest one and I would click on this one, and then what I would do is I would say, right, to that one, then I would click on to the I73, then I would put minus, then I would put the latest one I'm doing. So I'd click on that one, and then what I would do then is simply press enter. Now see, that's been set to 1532, which is my previous month. So now whatever I put in here, it will take off. So if I just put all 500, see, once I get past, now see, what you will find is on minus now. So obviously if I put 500 in here now, that's it. Well, look, you just at 500 compared this to last month. See, now if I were to highlight this and scroll down, now see I've at over 2,000, which means that last month I had a total of 1,532 calories. I've just busted over that by 2,000 calories, so over 468. So that's what the black does for me. Like I said, I messed up a bit, because what you've got to do is you've got to put the I thought I was doing it the right way around, but I wasn't. I was doing it around the wrong way. So what you want to do is make sure when you're doing it that the previous blue number comes down to a minus down here, because your key point to this system is to stay in a weekly basis, to try and stay either minus the previous month. We'll try and stay minus. That's the point to it. So what I'll do here is essentially I'll do the same all the way along here. So let's see if I can get it right this time. So what I would do, I'll put the standard equals. Then I would go that one, take that one. No, I've got it wrong again. God, I'm useless. So you want to do the KB83 first. Yeah, I'll get there. I always get there in the end. So I'll do that, then I would take that. So now this will come up as minus 2,473. So yeah, you know, that's what I said. If I could do this, anyone could do it. So again here, we would go equals that one, then take the last blue one I've done. So there we go. Just do the same here, equals that one, take that one. And then I'll do the same here, equals that one, take that one. So now that is pretty much ready for me to start filling it in. Yeah, that's about it. As you can see, as I'm doing all this over here, that's my grand total for the 5 weeks. And then what I'm doing then is I'm dividing that by 35 to give me my average over the 5 weeks. That's what I meant by this one up here, see. This one up here is 448. So obviously today I haven't really ate anything, but if we say, for example, say I stick to say 300 maximum, that would bang me up quite a bit above what I had last time. But we're talking minute amounts, isn't we, really? When you look at it, you know, 15,956 calories compared to 16,004 calories. So, you know, I don't think there's a massive difference here. I could lower it and just say 200, and 200 would bring me just under, so I'd be 454. Last time I was 455. This is what I've got to learn to stay within. Like I said, what's helped me out a lot here now is the fact that I've got into a routine of doing 10,000 steps a day. So, you know, I'm able to maintain that 10,000 steps a day, which is also like another guarantee of around 500 calorie burn each day. I will just point out another little thing, how I do this, because obviously people who's watched my previous videos would know how I've done this, but obviously new people who's watching this video for the first time wouldn't understand what all these numbers mean here. So I will just explain that now. I will put this back to 0, or delete it. Yeah, I'll put out to delete, and then I'll scroll over to where I put all my food. So this is a very simple table. It's what I've had to eat each day, as you can see up there, today's date, 23rd, and then what I've done. For people who's watched these videos before, you would see that my sleep has gone up. The reason I've put my calories on my sleep up is because the past videos and everything is I've been only counting around 6 hours of sleep. But I've got myself a fitness tracker watch, and it is consistently above 7 hours sleep. So what I've done is I've actually adjusted my calories to account for that. All the other weeks that I've done it, I've only been counting 6 hours sleep. So obviously I haven't been counting some calories, but I've adjusted for that now. And I've allowed myself a 7 hour sleep. So what I can do, I will. Right. This is my sleep calorie for 7 hours on my new weight, so kind of expected it. So I'm down to 608. So by losing that £4, I've actually lost about 10 calories per sleep, which might not sound much, but when you think about when you start adding it all up, it does make a difference over the long term. But you know, that's why I've been conscious keeping an eye on this. So yeah, as I said before, before I had my watch fitness tracker, I was adding that up based on only 6 hours sleep. But obviously, when I got my tracker and I seen over a week that I was always over 7 hours. Sometimes I was close to 8 hours, but most of the time it was around 7.5. But I'm just ignoring that half because it gets more complex when you start adding it all together. And so I've just rounded it off at 7 hours sleep, which now with my new weight loss of 228 pound is 608 calories lost per 7 hours sleep, pretty much. So yeah, all I do is I put in all the activities and the food I've ate and the calories. Once I've done that, down here it adds all up under the totals. Then all I do is the offset number. I takes that number and then I puts it in the charts that I've been doing. So yeah, as you can see, I've just done the table, worked out and everything. All that's done now, ready for me to start just putting in my my offset calories at the end of each day. Obviously my next video is going to be on the 27th of the 9th, so I've got a long way to go. I don't particularly like the first couple of weeks because I've got to try and control myself more and try and keep as low as I can. But you know, it's only for 2 weeks, and then I can ease up a little bit on the 3rd week and then have a little bit of a blowout towards the end of the month. But I think I'm at the part now where my body is saying, look, you know, 16 stone is what the body is happy with. Well, it's over 16 stone, so 17 stone is probably where my body would like to be with enough fat reserves. But you know, my aim is to try and get to 200, so I think I've got a battle. My subconscious and my consciousness is in a battle at the moment, and food is tasting so good. Chocolate has never tasted better to me, and it's doing my head in, people. It really is. I think the only way to really control it is to just restrict it. Don't buy it. I feel sorry for people who live with a lot of people, because that's an impossible. You can't do that, can you? You can't turn around to everyone and say you can't have chocolate, because if you have it, I'll end up eating some of it. But I say that, but I've still got chocolate in the house, so you know, I can't be a hypocrite really and turn around and say, well, I got no chocolate, because I have got chocolate because I love it. But yeah, as it stands, like I said, that's about it really. How do I feel about it? There's mixed feelings of how I feel about only losing £4 over 5 weeks, because that's less than £1 a week. But then I think, well, no, look at your tape measures. You know, your leg muscles has gone up quite a bit, so you know that's probably took a few pounds off your weight anyway. The age-old question about do muscle weigh more than fat, I think is you've got to look on it in a different way. I've watched a video on YouTube of a doctor, and she's got £5 of fat and £5 of muscle. And what you find is the £5 of fat she's holding quite easy. The £5 of muscle she's holding quite easy, sorry. But it was the fat that takes up more volume. So if you, for theory, if you were to fill say a 500ml bottle of one with fat, one with muscle, because muscle is more dense and is more compact, you would get more muscle in that area than you would fat. Then once you've got it jam packed with as much as you can get in the bottles, if you were to weigh them, you would find that the 500 ml bottle of fat probably weighs a little bit more compared to the fat. I'm getting all muddled up here, and I'm big time. The muscle bottle would weigh slightly more than the fat muscle. That's my point. So when people say about, oh, muscle weighs more than fat, is not much difference in it. But ultimately, if you were to take that example I just talked about and weigh the muscle compared to the fat, you would find that the muscle weighs slightly more because of the way it is, because it's more compact. But yeah, it's to do with the volume of fat, not the weight, really. That saying is true to a point, but then when you look at it the other way, it makes more sense that fat takes more room up. So the more fat you can lose, £4 is still a lot of fat. If you were to go and look at it, if you were to do a YouTube search and search that up, £4 of fat is still a lot of fat. So I've got to be conscious of that. But my other problem is I'm also conscious that my body weight has varied by £4. So, but I'm not going to take that away. At the end of the day, my new weight is 16 stone £4. I started back in February, and I was 20 stone £4. So that's a solid 4 stone that I've lost. So yeah, and now I'm actually feeling better for it. It's took me a good few times, like over the charts, 5 weeks. I'd say probably the first 4 weeks, the first 4 charts, which that would have been 5, 10, 20 weeks. I would say probably maybe a little bit more, an extra week, so 25 weeks of doing this type of thing. I did feel a bit, it wasn't that nice. It's only been this last 5 weeks that I've really started to notice the energy levels being up, and I'm just feeling slightly better. Well, not slightly, I think slightly is a bit. Some days I feel slightly better, other days I feel like I've got loads of energy. So yeah, I would truly recommend people to come up with their own plan, or you could try this one. As you can see, it keeps you on track perfectly. So I'll be keeping an eye on my black number to make sure that I don't go over, and if I do go over, I will try and restrict it as much as I can. Obviously this latest week, I started on the 17th, I've lost it a bit, but I was still well within the guidelines of my previous 5 weeks, so it's not like I've gone way out. So yeah, I won't bore people anymore. If you have stayed all the way through to this part, thanks very much for watching, and I hope you tune in for next month to see what I get then. Well, not next month, the next 5 weeks. On the 27th of the 9th I'll be doing the next video, so thanks for watching, and until then, ta-da, and best of luck with losing weight. Ta-da.